How do you get to paradise before you die? By dreaming or waking up? The time of the heroine has come. The journey of the divine son or goddess daughter who disappears into the underworld and then reawakens from a death-like sleep in the spring is a universal theme in fairy tales and myths. This narrative form is perhaps an ancient precursor of the Mandela effect, where a person seemingly dies and is seen alive again. My Whisper Planet series may be viewed to some degree as a new testament of the cult of Demeter, Persephone and Balbo at Eleusis. In my story, the goddess Persephone manifests as a mortal woman called Aurelia. So although changes will be necessary for different situations, the essential point of the mythic theme remains the same. Even today, in the collective unconscious, the perceived attitude of the gods towards producing a human incarnation is ambivalent. In the late Roman period, a tremendous religious collective experience occurred when Yahweh incarnated as a divine mortal son with historical reality. In contrast, in the cult of Aphrodite, Venus, and other goddesses, the process of producing a human personification failed and did not become a religious event. You see, Aphrodite was emotionally stuck, jealous of her son's mortal bride, Psyche, and so persecuted her. Then Psyche became a mythical goddess of the human mind, conscious and unconscious, our deepest thoughts, our butterfly soul. The enigma of consciousness still eludes us, but intriguingly, theories of quantum physics hint at the possibility of a conscious universe. Half a century ago, psychologists prophesied the decline of the hero's era. They foresaw a renaissance of creativity emerging from the unconscious, a prophecy that is now coming into fruition with the rise of the heroine. In my Whisper Planet series, although the goddess of springtime renewal has manifested as a mortal woman called Aurelia, Persephone has not been disinfected of her dark and powerful aspect, which is evident in Aurelia's mother. Psychologist Marie-Louise von Franz prophesied in her book, The Feminine in Fairy Tales, that a resurgence of the shadow side of the goddess answers a lack in Western civilization's mythology. Of course, I have conjured just a story. Aurelia is not a historical person. However, there is inspiration to be had in the myth presented here. And as a result, not just one, but many personifications of Psyche, Persephone, may come into being, where the elemental Persephone is conjoined to the mind, Psyche. To clarify what I mean by this last statement, I turn to Cynthia Sue Larson, who has a physics degree from University of California, Berkeley, and has been researching quantum science and the Mandela effect for some 25 years. I had a fascinating conversation with Cynthia. In her book, The Mandela Effect and Its Society, she connects quantum science and indigenous wisdom and references the Hopi prophecy rock, a petroglyph carved near Arizona. The Hopi image depicts two possible ways to live after a period of great transformation. One way is where human heads are disconnected from their bodies, following a materialist, competitive path without wisdom. The other path suggests living in a respectful harmony with love, strength, and balance, cooperating with others and opening up to receiving intuitive and spiritual guidance. Those who see through their travails in their own version of the chrysothemis mirror, a metaphor for self-reflection and understanding, have to have the power to bring forth a whisper copy of paradise. In this narrative, it suggests these human personifications need not only be daughters, but can be anyone who embodies the spirit of the goddess. Other afterthoughts. For the purposes of this series of stories, and in the spirit of artistic license, I moved the island of Prokonossos, now known as the island of Marmara, from the Sea of Marmaris to the Ionian Sea on my Meadowland Earth. In my narrative, I mention legendary phantom islands that are said to vanish. However, spookily, I have since learnt that Rob Shelley has published a book called Shattered Reality, in which he shows photographs of islands that have indeed moved. The examples are the landmass off the southwest coast of Australia, not Tasmania, appearing in the movie Dazed and Confused, and the TV show Friends. Other examples are Antilla, Sarah Ann Island, High Braille, Bus Island, and there are others too. It is possible that various ideas, unknowingly akin to the research of quantum physics that I developed while writing my Whisper Copy Planet series, may have been influenced by quantum entanglement. Theoretical neuroscientist Walter Jackson Freeman III suggests our minds are party to a society of interconnected brains working together. In my early research, I understood Prokonossos to mean the dowry of a princess. The Greek word also is understood to mean to do reverence or to worship. The island was said to have been visited by Jason and the Argonauts in 1250 BC, and Castor and Pollux, the brothers of Clytemnestra and Helen, sailed with Jason. Of course, it is only in the backstory of my Prokonossos that Christothemis escapes murderous Orestes to flourish on the island. And one might say her uncles decided to pay their rich niece a visit.